In the world of professional golf, there exists an elite club. A club filled with legends, household names, and rising stars. A club where membership is earned yearly with time, sweat, and dedication. This week, 50 players will gain entry into this exclusive fellowship. The top 25 from the regular season have already secured their spots, and another 25 spots are up for grabs here this week. Some dreams will be realized. Others will have to wait another day. Who will be next to join the likes of Jason Duffner, Grant Snedeker, and Keegan Bradley as the next great Web.com Tour graduate? EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Getting set now for first round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. And Frank, this is always a pressure-packed environment.
It is, but also a chance to see the raw talent that'll be on display for many a year. And at this tender stage, these players are powerful, talented, and often brilliant.
Out to the sixth hole now, where the action is underway. Let's check in on our featured golfer. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, Frank, what's the key to generating some momentum?
Just hitting good shots. I know it sort of sounds like the old cliche, but plenty of opportunities. A few 10, 15-foot putts start going down. This round will change dramatically.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. See if our featured player can do something right today.
Yeah, when you're swinging well, obviously target looks as big as a barn, but on days like today, everything looks difficult.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Shouldn't be a problem here. Steady as she goes, another par, and still even for the round. Seventh hole here at TPC Sawgrass generally plays into the wind, one of the stadium course's most difficult greens to hit, Frank.
It's a really weird tee shot here. You have those three little pot bunkers down the right, and then that bunker that meanders once again all the way down the left side. The bunker that's just slightly right of the canal. Very awkward angle off the tee. Great drive.
Came right out of the middle of the bat. Frank, on the Web.com Tour, you're not playing in the big cities under the bright lights the way they do on the PGA Tour, but you are playing 72 holes, and you do need to go low, not like the PGA Tour, if you want to be successful.
On the outside, it might look like the bare bones of professional golf, but you play for less money. You know, you're driving yourself around, you're paying your own expenses. This is how you find, really, how much you've got. Are you prepared for the long haul? And then whatever you learn over that period of time on the Web.com, you realize, are you tough enough? Are you strong enough? Because all of those skills that develop are what will serve you in great stead on the PGA Tour.
It toughens a player up. We've seen it with guys like Matt Kuchar, with Tom Lehman. Lehman won a major championship. With Zach Johnson, another major champion. These are all guys who had to grind it out on the Web.com Tour before graduating to the PGA Tour. Frank, 17 here at TPC Sawgrass gets all the attention when you look at the par threes, justifiably so. But number 8 is a daunting challenge in its own right.
It is longest of the 4 par threes, plus it's just littered with bunkers around the side, the back, and front. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Pretty good shot right there. Settles in over the putt. Good effort and good par putt. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 9?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2. But you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Second from an excellent lie. Frank, when you think layup shot on a par 5, you think it's easy. This isn't necessarily that simple, is it?
No, you've got to keep the ball to the right. Otherwise, those overhanging limbs on those trees on the left, they'll become havoc.
And that's how you play the game right there. You knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though. More hope than determination in that putt. Even par currently.
Still even par for the day. Now on to one of the most exciting back nines in golf here at the TPC Sawgrass and the stadium course. Let's begin at number 10. Frank, and what do you make of this hole?
It's another one where you're just trying to fit the tee shot in the fairway there. It's not a driver, it's just something that stays right. And of course, we've seen a lot of people stray here down the left side. Who can forget Mickelson when he won his Players Championship, hitting that phenomenal 7-iron out of the fairway bunker through the trees and still finding the putting surface. But speaking of the putting surface, this green has more undulations than just about any green on the golf course.
Headed for the bunker? It is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game. Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means.
If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. It's the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. We saw a lot of great golf on day number one, but as we inch closer, Frank, with those 50 PGA Tour cards up for grabs, that pressure begins to ratchet up.
It would have to, Rich, with that golden ticket come the end of this week, and that's a chance to play on the PGA Tour. But for the time being, let's look at the way they're playing right now. We are seeing some players play at the top of their game.
Hole number 4 here at TPC Sawgrass, 384-yard par 4, deep fairway bunker to the right of the landing zone. You want to avoid that. What else is there to look out for, Frank?
There's huge mounds on the left. They're just as penal, really, as the bunker on the right. So this is one where you have to pick an object in the distance. Really focus on that.
All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here.
And it is not looking like a good lie. Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Bang! Has it. Fifth hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right.
In the water, too bad. So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop. This now the third shot. Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it.
Frank, we've all been there. You hit one in the water, you're down. How do you regroup?
You've got to start from scratch again. Everybody's going to hit bad shots. That's just the nature of the game. But compounding mistakes, that's the problem that you want to avoid.
Still going, and going the wrong way. This is the fifth shot after that previous one went into the drink. Frank, as we watch the Web.com Tour Finals, anyone in particular you think could be a breakout star? Someone like a Keegan Bradley who jumped right out onto the PGA Tour and won the PGA Championship in his first ever start in a major.
Well, this player that I'm looking at right now, yes, and I mean you out there. Look at that. A prodigy since the age of 2. A lot of people in the golf world have just been waiting for you to finally get to this point. And, well, time for me to watch, time for you to play.
This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck.
Frank, what's the key? You just hit one OB.
Somehow forget what's just happened. Otherwise, the same thing's liable to happen.
Frank, hard to believe this already, the 7th shot.
That is hard to believe. And things aren't looking good.
Time to just pick up and move on to the next hole. Frank, what do you think of the 6th? Pretty short par 4.
It is, but you come out of that sort of corridor and fairway opens up and then it narrows up, bunkers to be around. Very, very few people hit driver here.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot get those trees coming into the frame.
Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Wasn't that hard a shot.
Frank, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but no doubt it feels good. Frank, what do you think of the 7th?
Interesting par 4 for 2 reasons. The undulating green on the end of the hole, it also shapes to the right. It makes it look like a dogleg right. But really, you want to play that tee shot just inside those pop bunkers down the right side.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Now the approach to the 7th. Frank, what do you need to be mindful of here?
It's rather narrow in the front of this green, and then there's some mounds both right and left. Be very aware of those mounds. They can actually help you out. Well, that's the best that was going to be on the fringe.
Not too bad. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony.
Getting set now over the putt. Hard to be perfect in this game. That's a bogey. Frank, not the best round, but there will be another chance.
Yeah, there certainly will be. It wasn't some great golf for the first 2 rounds. Making the cut's one thing, but to come out tomorrow, still 2 rounds to go, maybe put a couple of good ones there and chase up the leaderboard.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present third round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the third round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the 4th and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. So we're into the weekend, Frank, and just remind people what's at stake here.
Top 50 players are going to go forward and play the big tour, the PGA Tour, the chance to play in major championships, the chance to become a star of the future. And right now, Rich, there's just 36 holes separating them between now and their dream.
Frank, how difficult is it to access the hole location if you miss the fairway here at 4?
Well, if you miss it left, I've got to say the lesser of 2 evils is to be in the bunker on the right.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Headed for the bunker, I think. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par. And out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here.
Well, the 4th hole looks like it's going to claim another victim.
Good putt. Now to the 5th. This long par 4 thought to be one of the most difficult holes on the front side. here at the TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah, if you've got plenty of length in the bag, you can almost take it directly over the bunker on the right. But if you're not as long, you have to air down that left side.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
This is a good-looking shot. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. How does that not go in? Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, you don't want to get too cute with that second shot here at the 6th.
I remember many a time, Rich, when they put the flag right of center. You try and hit a little bit too close, those palm trees all of a sudden come into play. Hits one of those, that ball can go anywhere.
Frank, there's fairway, there's rough, and then there's mulch.
Yeah, the worst thing about the mulch is all these little chips around the ball and that, so the ball doesn't sit up. And once again, this shot might look easy, but if you just miss it a bit, it so exaggerates the outcome.
That looked like a miss hit, Frank.
The lie was okay. It's a little surprising. Maybe wrong club.
And setting up here in the rough.
Just too much juicy grass between the ball and the club face. It's always going to come up short out of that sort of light.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Well, double par here. Time to pick up and move on. Frank, the 7th hole here at the TPC Sawgrass, vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. Anything other than straight confuses the player off the tee. But there's 3 pot bunkers down the right side, just inside that last little pot bunker on the left of that. That's a pretty good line.
Frank, you've been there. What's the best way to approach this next shot at the 7th hole?
There's a lot of mounding on this 7th green, to the right and the left. You can use those mounds to kick the ball to the flag.
Just a little tap in here. Always take that. Good par putt right there. Frank, this is a hole that I really like. The 8th, 237-yard par 3, just a necklace of bunkers surrounding the green. What's the best approach?
You come out through that chute or that hallway of trees there, and this being the longest of the 4 par 3s of TPC Sawgrass, the green actually plays much smaller than what it looks because of that narrow entry.
Okay, 20 feet, not too bad. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Come on, you have to make that, don't you? Drop shot here at the 8th. Trying to get out of here without too many bumps and bruises. This one is for bogey. Frank, it's been that kind of a turn. Another bogey.
It's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. That one is in the bunker. Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, you hate to miss the green on a par 5 as your third shot.
I say par 5s are the easiest holes to birdie, but the hardest holes to make 4. Making 6, though, that certainly sets yourself backwards. So tough up and down.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Right, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever. It went from bad to worse, and right now, horrible.
What do they say, Frank? Golf spelled backwards is
Flog.
flog.
Yeah, so often we say the third round, Saturday's moving day. That doesn't always mean you move in a positive direction.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present final round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. It is the final round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the last stop of the Web.com Tour Finals, and what a huge day it is, Frank.
One round will determine whether they graduate from the Web.com or back again here next year. The chance of graduation, though, the richest. Play with the greats of the game, all on play today.
Frank, challenging approach shot here at the 14th.
Yeah, there's some subtle mounds in this green. One that comes in on the right, and then another one that starts to come in about 2/3 of the way down on that left side.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Good shot, Frank, just inside of 20 feet.
And 19 feet is what we're hearing.
Dropping a shot here late in the round, Frank, with that bogey at the 14th. So just a formality. Not her best effort, walks away with a bogey. Frank, the 15th hole certainly has the respect of the professionals.
But you're right, this is a positional hole where just keep the ball down the left center. You can't go too far, though, because you'll get blocked out or you'll run out of fairway. From there, it's really about knowing where the flag is, what position on the screen, because this is another green that's not flat. If the second shot lands on the wrong portion of the green, it'll finish well away from the hole.
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder, hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Wasn't that hard a shot.
And that's why on this golf course, Frank, there is a premium on hitting fairways.
You're exactly right. Might be also protecting against a flight, but that did anything other than flight.
Solid play, heart of the green. Tough hole. Has this now for double bogey. Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. Now the start of the gauntlet. 16, 17, and 18. Par 5, 16. Frank, Tiger made birdie here all 4 days in winning in 2013.
Fred Couples made that fantastic eagle many years ago. Hole bends a little to the player's left. You don't have to hit driver here if you're a long hitter, but you really must move that ball right to left. That's an absolute beauty.
Tricky shot from 95 yards with the wind quartering from behind. Good looking shot right here. On the green in regulation. Settles in over the putt. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
Good putt. Everyone at some point wants to have a crack at this hole. It might be the most famous single hole in all of golf, the 17th here at TPC Sawgrass, the Island Green. It has been reported that some guy once made a 66 here on the 17th. In the water, too bad. Now on to his 3rd shot after the last one went into the water. Good number, 140 yards.
Rich, I don't think any player at the top of the game, when they play TPC Sawgrass, they ever feel in control of their game. It's one golf course, and you'll see it too when you play on EA Sports, that each hole just sort of almost puts you deliberately off balance. And you can never feel like you're on top of your game. That, in a weird way, is the brilliance of TPC Sawgrass.
Well, that's what Pete Dye always set out to do. It wasn't so much what he built, but how he made you think about the round you were playing. He wanted to get inside your head. He wanted to play games with you. He wanted you thinking about that shot at 17, maybe while you were on the 11th hole, so that you were thrown off while you were playing 11 because maybe you heard a roar at 17, or maybe the wind was gusting in a certain way that just it threw a thought in your mind that, oh my goodness, when we get to 17, I might be in a little trouble. All about the games he played mentally with the best in the world. Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Frank, it's all about focus and positive imagery, isn't it, here in this approach shot at the 18th?
You have to be precise with your target here. You can't be looking left at the water or mounds on the right. Plus, there's all the mounding on the screen. So, in the end, look at the flag, aim at the flag, go there.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
Never a bad score on the card. That's par. Well, that'll wrap up our coverage of the final round. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports. We'll see you next week. This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Now the par 4 12, only 363 yards, but Frank, it is intricate. There's a lot involved, isn't there, in playing a hole like this?
Yeah, I think this is where you have to work out, which clubs do you hit the best? Are you better with a 9-iron or you better with a wedge? Because that's the distance you want to hit it to. That's how you can be aggressive, even when you're laying up.
Frank, what's the right play here? Second to the short 12.
Short flags, obviously got to keep it on that front section. When you've got a back flag, you've got to get it over that little faint ridge that's in the middle of this green. Got to go past that.
And getting ready for the putt. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in. Even par currently.
So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. A lot of excitement here. Let's take you out to the action once again at the 13th. Has not been a banner day for our featured player, Frank, but it is only the first round.
You always got to try and get something out of your round, even if it's something to work on for tomorrow.
Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Well, Frank, kind of a make-or-break hole here at the 14th, par 4, 389 yards.
Yeah, for the Cavalier player, you can sort of go at this this green in a more direct line. 290 yards will take all this bunker down the right out of play. Just leave you a flick in here. I'm going to say that's not a bad play, really. If you don't do that, then you just got to thread it down the left.
Played that one on the commercial side, as they say in the professional game, inside 30 feet.
Yeah, 27 feet to be precise, but to make it from there, that's asking for a bit.
And you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Okay, has it, and stays at 1 over par. Frank, if a player needs to make a big move at the close of the round, how could they get at this whole location and make a birdie? They call this turning home.
Yeah, I think that's where you have to be a little more aggressive off the tee shot. A drive of 280 yards can certainly take those two bunkers down the left out of play. There is one in the distance down there, 350 yards, so even the longest hitters can still hit driver down there. You imagine pumping one down there, sort of 340 yards. Now you turn a long hole into a drive and wedge. That's how you get aggressive.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Struggling a bit with the flat stick, and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. Locked in on the read and the speed. Losing a bit of ground now in this time. With the bogey, falls to 2 over. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. It's second round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Good contact, good result. Playing not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
Our featured golfer setting up for another approach. Really neat to get something going here, Frank.
And that green right now must look like the size of a thimble.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Frank, how about this hole, the par 5 11th? Long one.
Oh, it is. And, you know, anything over 600 yards, only the longest, it is the Bubba Watsons, the Dustin Johnsons of the world. The other ones that can get home on a hole like this. For the other ones, even those bunkers down the left side are sort of in play. You at least have to give them a cursory look off the tee. Nothing wrong with a hole, a par 5 that you can't reach. You still play it as a 3-shotter. And in some respects, you get rewarded for laying up here because that water that comes in on the left-hand side, that's not going to be in play.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, what's involved here in the third shot now at the par 5 11?
Just really setting up a good angle for that third shot. This is, when you lay up, it always pays just to check where the flag is. You want to sort of have a nice, comfortable look or angle to the flag.
Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
It doesn't go in, you got to add another one to the scorecard.
And that's where the golf ball's just staring at you.
Oh, yeah.
Mocking and laughing.
You know deep down it's smiling too, don't you?
That's a bogey putt, dropping down the leaderboard a bit, now at 2 over par. To the par 4 12th here at PGA West, short at 363 yards. Frank here at the par 4 12th, getting ready for this approach shot. Good chance for a 3.
There is. Notice the contours on the green, they sort of slope towards the back and down that left side. You can actually use that in your favor with this approach.
And that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Just a couple of feet. They'll take it. That's a par. Well, Frank, we came off a hole, the short par 4 12th, where players no doubt were thinking about making birdie. Here, a different story. Why?
It is. Well, 13's always going to be unlucky for some. There's so much water down there on that left.
Frank, I hate to go negative, but let's clear a few things up. The penalties when you hit it in the water versus hitting it out of bounds.
Yeah, some people, that's a good question, Rich, because some people think they're almost the same, but when you hit it out of bounds, you're actually losing a stroke and a distance. For example, if I'm teeing off on a par 4 and I hit it out of bounds, I'm penalised a stroke for hitting out of bounds, and I'm hitting my third shot off the tee. When I hit it into a water hazard, I don't have to lose all of that distance. I can drop the ball up just short of the water hazard. So the distance penalty isn't the same as if it was out of bounds.
So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop. This now the third shot. Frank, disappointing couple of rounds there.
And consequently a miscut. No chance of playing in the weekend, but there's more than one tournament ahead.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the BioWare Classic. She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Nice position, short grass, second shot. So this is the third shot to the par 5. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie here in the first hole. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. On to the second hole, par 3 of 225 yards. Good hole, Frank.
It certainly is, and the two bunkers, one left and one right, they remind you where not to go, but they don't really encroach on the green. So stay with a positive attitude on that tee, and you'll find that green is plenty big enough.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Frank, out of the rough, best to swing a little bit easier or get after it with all you have.
Well, a little bit in between. Obviously, it's going to require a little bit of strength to make sure that club keeps going through, but it's still the planning of the shot. Once again, check short. Is there anything I have to carry? And even remember, there's always the option of just simply pitching the ball down the fairway and taking your medicine.
Fairly straightforward par 4 now. The third at the wetlands is 460 yards straight away.
It is 460 yards. It can be chopped down a lot of different ways. 300-yard tee shot, and it's only 160. But if you're a mere mortal, 280, 180, the hole becomes that much longer, that much harder.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpet.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Outstanding strike right there, right off the center of the club face, and a good chance for birdie. These putts keep the round together. So a drop shot here at the third hole, Frank.
Yeah, another putt missed.
So they'll tap in. Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament. Action is underway, and we'll take you out to hole number 4. It has not gone all that well early in the round for our featured golfer. What do they need to do, Frank, to turn this thing around?
Well, you can't dwell on what just happened. There's plenty of holes ahead. Look at the scorecard, par 5s to play, things like that. Really pick apart this golf course. There's going to be plenty of opportunities around the corner.
Be happy with that one, about 10 feet away. Good shot. All right, no damage done. Stays at 1 over par with that putt. Good look now at the 5th hole here at the wetlands. Par 5, and it's a good one. 635 yards. But this one has a chance to be really good. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Frank, you think about the great rivalries in sports, the Yankees and the Red Sox, Ollie and Frazier, and in golf, Nicklaus and Palmer. Great athletes, great teams pushing one another to great heights.
It's amazing how that's gone forward too, because Nicklaus and Palmer really became Nicklaus and Watson. Then there was like Norman Faldo, but some would say that Faldo biased era. 6 majors to 5 was even more important. But in this era that we're in now, I think we're all praying for that Woods-McIlroy rivalry. Woods with 14 majors, McIlroy already with 4. That really is one to salivate over.
Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
It's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Those are painful from that distance.
Yeah, just another one added to the card. Big mistake.
So, 2 over par for the round. Frank, they gave us a great show today.
No, they certainly did. Course played well. You got what you deserved out there.
Some outstanding performances. And for our entire team, I'm Rich Lerner, saying so long for now. EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. That's in the fairway. Second from an excellent lie. See if our featured player can do something right today.
Yeah, when you're swinging well, obviously the target looks as big as a barn, but on days like today, everything looks difficult.
And we generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. Just for birdie. Locked in on the read and the speed. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one. Even par, currently.
Good effort and good par putt. On to the 8th. It's a par 3, 203 yards. What's going on here, Frank?
Interesting par 3, really. It looks anything other than a straightaway hole. That bunker short of the screen gives you like an optical illusion. I think it's lapping up with the front of the screen. It's actually sort of 3 or 4 yards before you get to the putting surface. A little bit of a drop off behind this green, and it narrows out the deeper the green gets. So tricky little par 3.
13 feet away.
Unlucky for some, but very makeable. It's that sneaky distance.
Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Frank, this is just an embarrassing performance.
There's no crying in golf, really.
Frank, looking at this par 5 9th hole, it's 621 yards. I need to make birdie here. What's the best way to go about it?
Well, if you're a long hitter, then there's a chance you can reach this par 5 and 2, Rich. But really the best way to make birdie here, good tee shot, and then contemplate the layup. In between the first 2 bunkers, there's a nice section of fairway. And it's not going to leave you much in for that 3rd shot to a green that's very receptive. So really, birdie can be made the hard way, wedge and a putt.
Third shot, looking for a good one.
Safely on deck.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Always 2 components to the long lag putt, the speed, number 1, and then the read. and missed out on that second part. Seems to really have the touch today. Ready to go here on the backside. We're at the 10th at the Wetlands. We start with a par 3, 246 yards. Chance to either keep the momentum going or reverse your fortunes. Frank getting set for the backside.
Yeah, this is so important. You've got to keep the pedal down. You can't play too conservative. It just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. That's a well-played shot, putting the ball right on the green. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Not too much, and not too little. Perfectly played into the center of the cup. Moving on to the par 4 11th, just a little bit more than 440 yards.
Yeah, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. So we have 190 yards left. Pretty good shot right there. Oh my goodness, woefully short on that putt. Leave it short. Wow. This would be a double for her. Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
So on this back 9, we started with a par 3, then a par 4, and now we get to a par 5. The 12th is 576 yards.
A nice blend of holes there that you just referenced. 11 bends to the left. Consequently, 12 have been in the other direction. Good drive required. And from there, just setting up perhaps, 7-iron, 6-iron into a green that's sort of fairly uniform in shape and should present a birdie with a good second shot.
Well played, places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Wow, I thought it was going in just off the mark by a fraction. Clean this up with a tap. That is a solid par putt. Frank, too many missed shots and now a missed cut.
Yes, it's disappointing, but the experience gained from playing this course really will be invaluable. Now's the time, just pick your head up and move forward. There's always another week.
Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
On the green with about 10 feet left to the hole and getting ready for the putt. Right off the edge. Wow.
That hurts.
So just a formality. Did the job right there. Been some good golf early on. Let's get you caught up as we go out to the 7th hole. Frank, nothing spectacular to this point in the first round. What does the player need to do just to kind of generate some momentum?
I actually think they're playing all right, Rich. It's just, compared to the top of the leaderboard, you start to think, well, maybe they're struggling. There's ebbs and flows in this game. At the moment, it's just sort of almost like a holding pattern. But it's time to change that.
That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Frank, you always talk about it not compounding the error, but here again, another shot from the rough.
Yeah, if you try again.
Just 5 feet left. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
This for double bogey. So, 2 over par for the round. This is a good hole, Frank, the par 4 8th.
Yet another dogleg left, Rich, on the front side. And it's a sharper dogleg now because they've put in 2 bunkers down the left side. It used to be a bailout area for the players in the past. You can't do that anymore. And I doubt anybody can fly it over that left one. It's nearly 330 yards to carry that in the air. Those 2 bunkers have forced the players to go out to the right, making that second shot a little bit longer now. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Miss-hit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Not that hard a shot.
Superb shot.
Yeah, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Here at the par 4 9th hole, Frank, what's the strategy off the tee?
Well, there's 1 bunker down the right side that you have to be very wary of. 325 yards to carry that, so it's very much in play, and just over 290 to reach it. Ideally, you have to go left about that down the left side. But really, this is a second shot hole because this green is not very deep.
Now our featured golfer setting up for another approach. Really needs to get something going here, Frank.
And that green right now must look like the size of a thimble.
Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
That's a par. Stays at +2. Hello again and welcome. Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports at one of the great venues in all of golf, TPC Scottsdale. Upwards of 500,000 fans expected throughout the week here. A lot of buzz being generated. And now, plenty of fireworks as well on this back 9.
There is, Rich. This is a Super Bowl type atmosphere, and the 10th hole, what a wonderful way to start this back 9. A dogleg right that's been radically changed in 2014. Numerous bunkers added. This is a very strict dogleg right par 4, and by that, I mean you're going to have to hit it down the left to have an open shot at this green.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. You missed out on that second part. 2 over for the day. Now at the par 4 11th, Frank, I really like this hole.
Well, you might be the only one, Rich, because this is an absolute scorecard wrecker. Water all the way down the left side. There's 2 bunkers. Don't worry about that. They're not off the tee. They're around the green. They protect the left front and the back. If you think you can bail out down the right side, well, you could find cactus and all sorts of crazy things down the right. And believe me, go down there, more than anything, they'll wreck your scorecard as well.
This is position A, right in the fairway, and 180 yards to go. Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
In the thick stuff.
Thick, it's brutal out there.
And setting up here in the rough. Well, this is how you build a good round, Frank. You just keep hitting greens. And that's in for a par. Frank, this is what you get when you come to TPC Scottsdale. A little bit of everything. The huge crowds. We saw an ace today. Birdies, eagles. What a round.
The changes at TPC Scottsdale have certainly stood up well. And this golf course, as we usher it into another decade, will certainly test the best and every other player that plays this game.
New look golf course here at TPC Scottsdale, but same raucous crowd. For my partner, Frank Nobilo, and all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now from the TPC Scottsdale. Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Welcome to the Stadium Course, TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a masterful blend of challenge and playability designed by the team of Tom Weisskopf and Jay Morrish. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports.
The changes, Rich, they made in 2014 have just added a luster to this great venue that hosts the PGA Tour event each and every year. And it's a great test for any level of play.
The second shot now to the par 4. Get down, look out.
It's over. The green.
This is a cross-country special. She has this attempt for par. Good putt. 12th hole now, looking at 192 yards, par 3.
Won't quite play that distance because that tee shot is considerably downhill. But you really have to be cognizant of the wind if it's coming off the left, because it easily brings that water into play down the right should that tee shot just start moving with the wind.
Birdie try up next.
Second shot.
I'm sure it feels good to get some red numbers on the card, but this tournament is probably too far out of reach at this point.
No question.
Par 5 13th, chance for birdie or maybe even eagle if you're bold and brave enough, but also, Frank, chance for disaster here?
Well, there is. Water very much in play down the right side. There's a bunker down the left too. If you finish up in that, there's no way you're going for this par 5 and 2. Then it becomes a little bit of a zigzag mission. The second shot either has to be hit down the right side, just skirting that bunker in the front, or it has to be all carry.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Good lie in the fairway, a good chance to make something happen here. Frank, it's not just a golf tournament at the TPC Scottsdale.
It's a party.
It's a giant throwdown, isn't it?
It certainly is, but the atmosphere works here. It just fits in. The players are aware of it. They're quite fine to play amongst it too, because it's such a rare event.
And to be honest, a lot of the fans, and there were almost 180,000 on Saturday alone in 2013, a lot of the fans, they don't see a single golf shot. They're too busy having a good time, having a party.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Just misses. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Always take that. Good par putt right there. Par 4 14th, and Frank, this hole packs a little punch, doesn't it?
Yeah, the addition of just a little bit more yardage, plus the bunker on the left has been pushed out into the fairway. It actually makes the whole play a little bit longer than its 490 yards. Second shot is a little bit uphill. No longer is there a bunker on the right side. That side of the green is actually open. You don't really want to be trying to miss that green on the right. Should you decide to go at the flag, you're going to have to carry that front bunker.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Locked in on the read and the speed. I don't know if that was a misread or what, Frank, but that one hurts.
Yeah, she's certainly going to have to pick up her socks after that. Really solid stroke.
Great scoring opportunity here at the par 5 15th, but Frank, I'm wondering, as a player, is your mind beginning to think about what's ahead at that par 3 16th hole?
Oh, they are. This is really the finishing stretch at TPC Scottsdale, where you get all these swing holes. 15 is a swing hole. 16, 17, and 18, where so many changes in the score can actually happen. But this one here is all about finding the fairway. A good drive down here will be well rewarded because you'll have a chance to reach this par 5 and 2.
Third shot, looking for a good one.
Safely on deck.
That is classy.
I have a chance of going in.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
That's how you maintain momentum and make those putts for par. Missed cut. What happened, Frank?
Just not good enough. That's the easy way. Way too many shots out there, especially for that caliber of play. So put it in the memory banks, move forward, better days ahead.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. See if our featured golfer can get a little something positive going here, Frank. It has been a miserable day.
Yeah, things have just appeared too tough. So really just somehow just eradicate everything right now. Realize this green's big enough. Just get something on the green. Opportunity maybe for a birdie.
Wet. Thank goodness, Frank, back on dry land here.
As long as this one avoids it.
After hitting it in the drink, this is the fourth shot.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. The scorecard is quickly adding up.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Frank, the tournament scoring record was set by Buddy Allen. That was way back in 1973. A whopping 23 under. That's like a video game score.
Yeah, they made sure that would never happen again. They lengthened the golf course. They firmed up the greens. They sped them up. They did everything to make sure that nobody, including you, ever shoots 23 under here again.
Action continues at the 7th. Coming to this middle portion of the round, Frank, the featured golfer, has really struggled.
Yeah, just a rough start, and it's going to be a case of trying to find a few things to really rectify this situation. Find some fairways, start finding some greens in regulation, give yourself some good opportunities, take the pressure off of you.
That would be a great look at birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Getting ready to tee off now at the 8th, and Frank, this hole has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, even though it's a pretty hole, Rich, it's a fairway you must hit because that second shot here is one of the toughest on the golf course.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good looking birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
A little bit more hope than determination in that putt.
She needs this for her par. Did the job right there. Rounding out the front 9 here at Bay Hill, 474-yard par 4. Frank, you've played this hole before. Where are you lining up when you step onto the tee here?
There's an out of bounds all the way down the left side that you have to be cognizant of. But that bunker, 290 yards carries it. And yet again, another hole that favors the long hitter.
They'll be happy with that. Even the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole from 200 yards away. 1992, Captain Cool, Fred Couples won 9 shots over Gene Sowers, and with that win, Frank, Freddie became the #1 ranked player of the world.
Yeah, those are the days for Freddie. It was just like sticking a key in the car. Give it a little turn, and he was off and running.
So with a mate, moves to even par. Well, that about wraps it up for us here today. I'd like to thank my partner, Frank Nobilo. Really enjoyed it, Frank.
Yeah, it's been a good day out here. Once again, we've seen the golf course give more than it takes.
For Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Its second-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Second from an excellent lie. couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
So after the layup, Frank, here at the par 5 12, pitch shot here, try to make birdie.
Yeah, just use the contours of this green. You can actually get to this flag a lot of different ways. Using one of the mounds, there's nothing wrong with that.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity.
Chance for back-to-back.
Kind of a tricky read. And getting ready for the putt. Solid par. Frank, the par 4 13th, relatively short, but not necessarily easy.
Yeah, stringent tee shot. A lot of people are tempted to take a bigger club off the tee. 300 yards runs out of the fairway, but really, what does that give you in?
That's a good start to the hole. Right down the middle. Par 4 13th, Frank, how do you hit this approach shot?
Rich, it's the first par 4 at Bay Hill where the water is actually on the right of the green, and that has to be taken into consideration. Just a little errant shot, and then you're going to be wet. So a little left of the flag, that's where you want to be.
Good, clean contact, nice result, and a chance for birdie coming up.
That was cruel. It looked like it was certainly going in.
Just a little tap in here. Good putt. Frank, I like a good par 3 over 200 yards, requiring that one good, clean strike. And here's a good case in point, 216 yards, all you want.
Yeah, bunkered at the back, bunkered to the left side, a little collection area to the right. So really, in the end, you've got one choice. That's at your best. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop. Second shot. Another good swing. Another good approach shot.
Just 5 feet left. Ooh, good effort right there. Almost made it.
Even par, currently.
Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires.
Now at the 15th, big dog leg right here. What's the best way to go, Frank?
Really down the left side. It's very tempting to try and hit it across that bunker, but not only do you have to carry the bunker, you've also got to carry those little shrubs down the right side.
Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
Yeah, this could compound very, very quickly. So now's a chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. This is a cross-country special.
We often say, Rich, you should always try and make it. I've got to disagree with that. Lag putting, it's just about taking the strain off the next one. There's always other holes to be played.
From that distance, you settle for 2 putts.
Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament.
Well, early exit for one of what I thought Rich was going to be the favorite, but their week's over.
Numbers don't lie in this case, in this sport, and now a missed cut. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Alberta Classic. Resuming the action here at EA Sports, let's go out to the 7th hole and pick up with our featured golfer. Has not been a stellar performance to this point, but Frank, not too bad.
When you consider 4-round events, Rich, you're going to have a period where there's a little lull. As long as you can minimize the damage over the course of 4 days, it turns out all right.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Good looking shot right here. And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. This is a long putt. Really, the key is the speed. If it drops, that's a bonus. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part.
Still playing even for the day after the par. Now to hole number 8. It's another par 3 with some water, Frank. Only 150 yards. This is the shortest hole in the golf course.
But distance control is still very important. If you can get the right distance, you could perhaps aim 10 or 15 feet left of the flag. You're only going to have a 10 or 15 foot putt. So just think of that. Water on the right there. Just aim a little further to the left. You can still make birdie.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Just love the variety here on the front side, Frank, coming off that short par 3 8th. Now we go to another par 5 to round out the side, 501 yards.
And the third par 5, an interesting front 9 here. 3 par 5s, 3 par 3s and 3 par 4s. This one not the longest par 5, but still reachable. This one you have to be a little bit careful though. This is probably the toughest driving hole on the front 9 with regard to par 5s.
One ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
To where the hole is cut, just about 190 yards, Frank. Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target.
It is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Right, that's amazing. That's a master class in short game.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. So, 2 over par for the round. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. We are back on this beautiful day here at Banff Springs in the Canadian Rockies. Set to kick off all the action on the back 9. The 10th begin with a par 3, Frank, 218 yards.
And I have no idea why this is called Little Bow, because over 200 yards, you really have to bow up with this tee shot. That's for sure. Standing there, you need something that comes out of the gate very, very straight and with a decent height on it as well. If you want to land on that left side of the green and make it.
Well, do that. The Prodigy moves inside the cut line with that birdie. Well, that wraps up another round here at Banff Springs. Frank, what caught your eye today?
Just the gorgeous scenery, Rich. Golf course not overly long, but not often we get north of the border in just an idyllic part of the world.
We saw plenty of great shots out on the course today, and we're looking forward to getting back to the action soon. So for all of us here at EA Sports, this is Rich Lerner, along with Frank Nobilo saying, until next time. Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today, it's live second round coverage of the Alberta Classic.
This is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop. Safely on the dance floor.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
How did that not go in?
Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. She would drop 2 shots if she makes this. Well, once you hit double to par, it's time to just pick up and move on. Well, again, Frank, we get that good mix of holes here. We've had a couple of par 3s, a short par 5, and that opening par 4. Now at the 5th hole, 424-yard par 4.
The first bunker on the right, not really in play for the good players. Just being a little cognizant of that one on the left side. Depending on what club you want to head off the tee. Ideally, that line is the 3rd bunker, the one in the distance. It's a good line off the tee here.
Set now for the second shot, par 4 5th.
Just be aware of where the flag is. If it's cut in that front section, you definitely want to carry the front of the green. The hole is a little more difficult when they start to push that flag in the back left. You can see it narrow up there.
That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. We haven't seen a whole lot of that, Frank, but that has to feel good. Frank, the 6th here at Banff Springs is a good little hole, isn't it?
It is very tempting, very easy to sort of just stand up there and wail away with the driver and get caught. This is a generous fairway. You could hit any club down there and you're not going to have a problem with the second shot. So it's just trying to find a yardage that you're comfortable with.
It's a good spot right there.
Good cut.
Frank, you've played golf all over the world. What are your impressions of Banff Springs?
It's nice, Rich. I was actually in Calgary many a year ago, and I'm disappointed I never got to play the Banff golf course. Getting to see it today, it's one that I would have put on my bucket list.
Good strike right there, right off the center of the face, and about 20 feet away. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
How does that not go in?
Amazing. The stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Well, Frank, how about this hole? 602 yards of par 5, although I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. It's 602 yards these days for a long hitter.
What do you say? It's a drive and a 7-iron?
That's a mid-range par 5.
Well, yeah, 2 woods. The longer hitters will definitely get at home there, especially in good conditions. But bunker down the left, avoid that, carry that, and then we can think about the second shot.
Our featured golfer setting up for another approach. Really neat to get something going here, Frank.
And that green right now must look like the size of a...
Here we go. Safely aboard. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course. Comfortably knocks it in.
Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. When that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
Frank missed the green off the tee.
But this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at par 3. Another good swing, another good approach shot. It's that sneaky distance. Normally you'd be happy to take 2 from there. What's one going to feel like? Great putt.
So we'll round out the front side here at Banff Springs with a par 5 and reasonably short at only 501 yards.
So very reachable because of that yardage that you just referenced. Hole bends a little bit to the right. You can favor the left side with a tee shot. It's just going to make that angle on the second a little bit easier.
Well, that ball nestled down just a bit in that heavy rough.
Just trying to make clean contact from the rough.
Frank, as we get set now for this second shot to the par 5 9, what are the options for the player?
The biggest thing to take into account, Rich, is just that the general terrain in front, because you can always use that to your advantage. I know the green pitches from left to right. You've got 2 choices. Just sort of aim it a little bit left, let it kick down the hill, or just try and sort of turn it back towards the flag.
So a tester from 4 feet. Chalk that up as a birdie for the scorecard.
A very quick exit, miscut. Not the only one there, but surprising.
The weekend now to regroup. Just didn't hit many good shots. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live first-round coverage of the International Challenge. Let's go over to the 5th hole. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, Frank, what's the key to generating some momentum?
Just hitting good shots. I know it sort of sounds like the old cliche, but plenty of opportunities. A few 10, 15-foot putts start going down. This round will change dramatically.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The 2 greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros.
Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron. That's right, a 3-iron on a short bunker shot from a green side bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing. Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament. All right, Frank, how about the 6th hole, long par 5?
Yeah, 3 bunkers off the tee. Avoid those. But if you hit a good one, certainly reachable.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
And now the second shot here at this par 5.
Rich, now's the time to knuckle down. I know things haven't gone right up to this point, but really, this is where you can still get something out of it. Just give yourself that opportunity. You're good enough.
Beauty of golf, Frank. One good strike comes off the center of the bat, one good result, and you begin to feel differently about things. Well, that's how you play the game right there. You knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Never quite had enough oomph on that.
Yeah, sort of a wishy-washy stroke.
Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, we're moving inland now to the 7th hole. It's a 405-yard par 4. What's ahead?
Little dogleg to the right. A couple of bunkers right on the corner of it. So once again, check the breeze and somehow find that fairway.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Couldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That would be a great look at birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
And what happened here in 1973?
The old squire, Gene Sarazen himself, made an ace.
He was 71 years old playing his final Open. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Good work there. Now to even par. Frank, the 9th hole, 423 yards, not especially long by today's standards. You looking to make birdie here? You happy to make a par and move on to the back 9?
Well, there's certainly a chance for birdie. One of the hardest things about the 9th is the raised green. And it's sort of, there's 2 tiers here, just the top level. If that pin is on the top level, then you would certainly walk away with 4 very happily.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Frank going for 2 in a row now. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. So for Frank Nobilo and all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the International Challenge. Located in Troon, Scotland, founded in 1878, Royal Troon Golf Club playing host to the Open Championship 8 times, and is slated to host its 9th major championship in 2016. I'm Rich Lerner for EA Sports. Alongside me today, my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. Frank, you've played in the Open Championship on a couple of occasions here at Royal Troon. It's a golf course that features some breathtaking scenery, and it can also serve up some breathtaking golf.
True links golf course, Rich. Relatively soft start can certainly lull you into that false sense of security, and then the golf course really starts to open up. That homeward 9, often coming back into a prevailing breeze, is very much a stern test.
Third shot, looking for a good one. This is a good-looking shot. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll. All things pointed to a good week. Birdie there, very important right now.
Playing some good golf. Frank, we're moving inland now, and what are we facing here at this par 4 7th hole?
Just a dog leg to the right. Ideally, just a little cut off the tee. That's fine.
Frank, there was another playoff at Royal Troon 2004 in another case where a Hall of Fame player was beaten.
That's right. That was Ernie Els versus Todd Hamilton. Todd Hamilton had won Honda earlier in the year. He'd left the Japanese tour, and he'd gone to the Open Championship actually full of confidence. But unbeknown to Ernie Els, he was going to be beaten by the use of the utility club. Remember, Todd Hamilton, time and time again, when he would miss the green, would chip with the utility club and beat Ernie Els in that 4-hole play.
And now we see so many players using that shot from just off the green. That has to feel good. That's a birdie. Frank, the 8th hole, it is one of the most famous in the world, the little postage stamp, par 3.
Yeah, the front part of the screen's the widest, Rich. Then it starts to narrow up. So you never know. Maybe going a little lower if you're going to go towards the back of the green. But really, if you're going to err, you want to err on that first third, first half of the screen.
You don't want to come in too hot and roll it off the bat. Hoping to get this up and down here, Frank, at the par 3 after missing the green.
It's not all bad.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
Good putt. Ready to go here at the 9th at Royal Troon Golf Club. 423 yards. What are you looking to do with this one, Frank?
Well, it's another one that's a dog leg left. It's called the Monk, actually, because it faces the village of Monktown. One bunker on the left, 285 yards to carry that. But it's not that you're trying to carry it, it's you're trying to cut the ball off that.
And that sets up well for a chance at the green here at the 9th. So a good lie right in the fairway and only 135 yards away. Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Been pretty good all day from this distance. Just trying to take care of business. A good birdie right there, Frank.
Oh, time to get another cup of coffee. Things are heating up.
Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, getting set for the back nine here at historic Royal Troon. What's the 10th hole all about, Frank?
It's called sandhills, and that's for a reason. Blind tee shot, especially from the championship tees, where you hit it over the sandhills. Ideally, you want to hit the ball about 280, 290 yards.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. These putts keep the round together. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Just a couple of feet.
Frank, how does that par help his cause?
It certainly doesn't hurt it.
Daunting tee shot here at the par 4 11th, Frank. This is all you want.
Yeah, this requires your best tee shot. Doesn't matter if it goes left to right or right to left. This is a must-hit fairway. Otherwise, you don't know what you're going to finish up shooting.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Frank, when you look at great rivalries in sports, you realize that athletes need each other. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to achieve greatness, to achieve legendary status. And in golf, Tom Watson needed Jack Nicklaus to push him to another level.
And also to define an era. Without one, we couldn't think of the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s. You need those players to define that era. So you need competition. Competition is not without rivalry. This is an awkward length. Given the situation, Rich, things so tight at the top. Very, very good birdie.
That was huge right there. Still with a great chance to come away with this title. So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.